Alrighty. So, where we left off, the guild hall is currently destroyed. You found out that Kiza is not a warforged, and in fact was a fairy that was controlling an automata. You found, I'm sorry. Eliot, you can't sneeze, can still hear you fully. Anyways, yeah, and then a portal to the Fae opened up in front of you guys, where a couple Fae creatures walked out along with Blake, Mako's confidant. We're going to cut a little ahead. Basically, is there somewhere you guys would like to confidentially meet with a bunch of Fae folks since the guild is no longer broken down?
I don't know of anywhere it's safe really anymore. Is that what we're asking? If there's a
The most
safe place?
private place I can think of would be Mako's old club. There are rooms there that are soundproof and scry-proof. Like, I don't even think the academy would have like that
Yeah,
level
that'll
of
work.
protection. Yeah.
Excellent. So we will kind of cut there to kind of you're going to get introduced to everyone in one of those private rooms at Mako's Club. What is Mako's Club like? Let's just get that out there.
I imagine it's very much it's very much a like throw pillows and red velvet upholstery and drapes and a little bit of like haze at the top of the room. This is very much a more classy club.
So standard boudoir fare.
Yeah.
With
Okay,
the
now
velvet
this is
wallpaper.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
This is a classy place. I could spend some time here.
I don't know if you'd want to do that, Joe.
This has got the exact sort of decor I was always leaning towards. Amelia would never have it, but this is kind of how I wanted our place to look in the long run.
Kitasha's gonna turn and look at Joe, and then like
I imagine
raise her eyebrows at Mako.
I imagine Joe is like extremely focused on the upholstery and on the wallpaper and the vibe, and completely missing the half-naked dancers who are like meandering around.
You know what? When you're
It's either
describing it, I
that or
wasn't even picturing a live club. I was kind of thought this was like a derelict or like abandoned, but that's even funnier if Joe straight up hasn't noticed.
No, I thought it would be like, oh, this chair looks like it has so much lumbar support, and just being like, no, Joe, that's not for your back.
All right. Yeah. As you guys gather in kind of a large private room, to kind of describe who's all here. So we do have, like I said before, Blake, Talus, and Yaga are both joining you.
You brought the grandmother?
Oh yeah, Granny's involved. Actually, here, hold on, Kitasha, give me a perception check.
Perception. But I'm so good at those.
Ooh.
I have no idea if it rolled.
It roll. I see an 18 on my screen.
Hold on, sorry, mine's still loading.
25
total.
25 plus my D4. Hang on. God, I don't like this. I'm pretty sure it's just my monitor, but I do not like it. So 26 total.
26 total? Alrighty. So, you've been noticing that one of the two Dullahan that emerged through the portal and have now joined you, Sans Horse, in this chamber, is very seems to be in conversation with Yaga. Like, they seem to go way back. And it's weird because you're pretty sure there's some strange flirting going on between these two. That's fine.
Yep. You know what? Yaga doesn't appear to be married, so get it, girl, I guess.
Okay.
There's no age cutoff in orc culture, so.
Yeah.
And Fays are somewhat ageless anyway.
You're a little surprised that she's into the Headless Horseman, but this one does seem a little less corpsey, like decaying corpsey, than some of the others you've heard of. But yeah, there's two Doulahan, there's a couple of Fey folk that all seem to have some form of gourd for a head. The main one that you do see is this pumpkin-headed boy, whose art is already in the chat. And then if you look to the chat, you will also see the let me pull up first stuff. The matron Melody, as you were introduced to her. She has a mushroom cap sort of headpiece. She's very kind of wizened, but very wise looking. She's got a huge cluster of orange tannish mushrooms growing from her back as well as the one upon her head. And she's very almost motherly looking. And she seems to be kind of the one to lead this sort of meeting. As you all gather around, she will begin to explain. Now, as I have seen, there is much to discuss here about the happenings in our worlds. From what Blake has informed me, you three have been working to collect the Fey artifacts that have been appearing over here. Is that correct?
Yes. However, recently we in the chaos of the attack, those artifacts were stolen. We believe we know who did it. A man named Faliel Alisar. Faliel Alisar.
Yeah.
He's gone by several names, but I believe that's the one. He's a very powerful mage.
Ah, yes, that does make some of this slightly easier to explain, as it seems our information has led up to the same conclusion. To give a little bit more information on this, let me start from the beginning, as I see. Apologies. It's quite tiring to come here. It makes my memory kind of fuzzy to be away from the blood birch. But about 2 years ago, several artifacts from the Feywilds began to vanish. And it became apparent as more of them disappeared that our world was beginning to experience strange tremors and rifts. I believe you saw it as people vanishing into the Fae, as we often would find remnants of wanderers suddenly more frequently. But we lost many artifacts over the Staff of Rebirth, we have the Staff of Rebirth, our Dice of Destiny, and the Bloodbirch's own, where's the name, sorry. Light of Harvest.
So, did you say bloodbird?
Yes.
That sounds really scary.
Oh, it's nothing for you to fear. It's held at great renown among my people. We have coexisted for a long time. I do believe these items, though, are the ones that you encountered, though it seems that our worlds kind of twist amongst each other. While our Staff of Rebirth is more of a way to show life's re-beginnings, it seems here on the mortal plane, it brings disease to you. Then,
I think. Oh, sorry, go on.
oh, it's all right. I was just going to explain how each of our items seem to have kind of twisted when they're over here, which allowed us to see into the future, seem to reverse time here. And the lights of the harvest were causing things to come to life over here.
Mhm.
Whereas it's more of a ceremonial piece, as it contains pieces of bark from the elder blood birch.
Do we know why things? Is it just because of how different the Fae is to the material plane that there is that difference in how they interact?
I would assume so, but I've never been one to really look into those sorts of things. They were never my speciality. The main reason I even came to this side to care about it was these rifts forming and our lights of harvest vanishing. That is also why the Doulahan are here. They, of course, are the main users of the rebirth staff. Now, I do believe that, as you said, there is a common enemy amongst us. I had contacted Blake here, who had long since left the wilds, in order to have her search here, or have them search here, and see what could be causing these rifts and what was stealing energy from our land. And they first noticed that you three had begun to collect them. When they informed me of this, they also informed me that they believed they should investigate why these items were coming over. And from what you've also said, it seems that we've both seen this File Elser as the culprit. This creature is old, for mortals at least. He's lived through the reign of your Templar age, the fall of the Templars, the birth of this industrial age, but it seems, to me at least, that he has become angry at the sideline of magic in your culture. Magic doesn't seem to be as sought for here, not as revered. Seems your machinery in its place. And from what...
Well, it means the machinery is good. It means that anybody, not just those who are born with it or study for ages, it's open for anybody.
Perhaps, though it also seems to have quite a few downsides. The smog in this area is quite unsettling.
It's just part of the charm.
Charm as you may find it, I don't think our dear culprit finds it quite so charming. Blake has managed to track his magic, and he appears to be within a cave at Heaven's Gate. You are aware of this area?
I think so.
Yeah, if I don't know if
it's
Joe,
on the map, but
if Joe and Gitasha don't know, Mako will explain. Heaven's Gate is a range of is a mountain range just the southwest of here. I think southwest. I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's southwest. It looks like.
Yeah,
I found the map.
it is said that the tallest peaks within the range even stretch into the literal heavens, and the distance between the plains is much thinner there.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's also a very dangerous place because there's tons of that kind of energy and presence tends to attract things.
I see. So this is where we will find our quarry.
Yes, we believe so, and most likely the artifacts will be there as well. Though from the energy signatures of magic that Lake was able to locate, it seems there are other powerful magic items within, not simply just the wizard themselves.
Have we heard of other things going missing, or is it just the Fey artifacts so far?
From the guild itself, at least, the only thing that you know for sure are the Fey artifacts.
Do you have any theories as to a motive or a goal? I don't. I'm hesitant to charge in without knowing what we might be facing.
The realms are breaking. I fear whatever he is doing within there, with such powerful magic, I fear he is trying to break the barrier between the planes. I think he's trying to imbue the magic throughout, bring back a surge of wild magic in order to bring back an era from before the Industrial Revolution.
Surely that would be catastrophic, though. I mean, we've already seen how changing planes warped the artifacts. What would that do on a widespread scale?
I don't think he cares. And in fact, this may even be some way to force ascension. He may be looking to make himself an idol, some form of god.
Okay, then we need to move quickly then, because if he has everything he needs, he's not gonna. That doesn't seem like the type to waste time.
No, I don't believe so, which is why we decided to come forth. We didn't think that we alone could breach it and keep the Fae themselves safe. Blake here has recruited a few more to follow along with you, but I wish to discuss with you what you would like to do moving forward, because you must repair the tears in our realities.
We can try.
Yeah, we can try. I don't think we really succeeded back in Akamoros. I think that tear got worse. But we'll try.
Yeah.
Well, try is all we can do.
And we do have a Mako on our side. So we usually do. Our strategy up till now has been pointing Mako at whatever needs Makoing. And,
I don't think I
Yeah.
can hit a tear into closing.
well, then we're all dead. Well,
To be fair, I think your abilities might come quite in handy, Sir Joe.
Sir.
You see, I don't think that he is working with just these magical artifacts alone. I think he's having to use the things he so hates in order to truly extract the magic from the artifacts. So perhaps, if there is such machinery within this fortress, perhaps you would be able to unwind it a bit.
Hmm.
And of course, our dear sorceress over here, I think she may be able to understand the magic itself, if at least in some way.
I don't know. Usually I just do magic and it happens. There's not like a lot to understand around it. It just kind of happens.
As all good magic should.
That still
I mean,
confuses
sometimes
me.
it doesn't, but
We gotta have a talk about that sometime. You can't just be casting magic without knowing what it is. That is so dangerous. Maybe
have
after
you
all
never
of this is
done
over.
something without knowing the outcome before?
You were saying you don't really understand how it works. I mean, that's just a little concerning.
No, it just happens. It's worked out pretty okay so far.
Hmm.
I mean, no one's died.
I guess not. We'll see how the next few days go.
Indeed. Blake, dear, if you would so kindly explain what you so far have been able to do. From this Blake, the changeling you had briefly seen, and Joe in the gargoyle group kind of pulls forward. All right, yeah, so at least right now, I figured we were gonna need some pretty strong hitters in magic. So I figured take a look, and that Alex and Mambara from the Grove seem to be two pretty strong hitters. So
Mhm.
I've already been in contact with them, and they will be meeting us at Heaven's Gate. I also happen to know that Miss Yaga here is quite the strong sorcerer. So I figured they might be coming along with us. Was there anyone else that you guys would want to bring? We're potentially gonna be fighting some old friends, depending on how things go.
Hang on, I have to consult my sheet. Hang on. Give me a second.
I don't think I've got anyone who I'm wanting to bring that is. I don't want to put anyone in danger. So, and plus, the only sort of cool person I knew ended up being a tiny fairy. So, I don't know how strong Kiza is anymore.
Okay, rude, Kiza says from right next to your shoulder.
How long have you been there?
I've been here the whole time. I came with you guys.
I'm sorry, you're just so small. I just completely forgot. Are you still powerful even without your cool armor suit thing?
To be fair, I do have some magic, but most of my abilities are through artificing. Unless you give me enough time to work on something, probably not. But it's still rude.
We probably leave in, I don't know, 8 hours. I imagine we'll probably need to rest before we get into all of this. But if you want to whip up some, super powerful magic device in 8 hours, that'd be cool.
Well, didn't the matron also say that there's going to be magical mechanical things there too?
That's true. Maybe we could team up like old times and deactivate some things or reprogram a machine or something.
Now that sounds excellent. I'm sure we could figure something out.
Hmm.
I'll at least be there to give a helping hand, even if I can't physically help with the stuff if it's too big.
Or who knows, maybe your tiny diminutive form will actually be able to, fit inside a machine or, uncork a cog or something like that.
Perhaps.
What about you, Mako and Katasha? Have either of you got any people that you'd be willing to bring in on this?
I mean, it'd be really cool if Mob could come, but I don't know how much help he would be.
I think I've tapped out most of my contacts.
How are we on good terms with either Brutus or Feeler at the moment? How's that? Are we friends? Can either of them throw down?
Yeah, let's say friends. I think so. I don't know when they're going to be back, though. They decided to take extra time in Akamoros.
Oh, they may be a little far from. Yeah.
I can gather up anyone that we need. I've got a couple good teleport spells here, so.
I don't
Oh,
think
in
of
that
any.
case, then Fila and Brutus, I think, would be good additions.
Okay, let me add them to a list here. Bring with. All right, Fila
We could
and
bring. If I'm open to suggestions, but there are some of the people that we have worked with have been pretty strong. We had Edmund Becquerel. I don't know if he's just a gifted mind, but or more than that, but potentially someone like him. Or there was I'm looking at my list of names. Taji Abdi. I don't know if she's strong, but she was the priestess, I think. Maybe.
Yes, but she also went to the Grove
Oh
as part of
yeah.
her pilgrimage. Is that I don't know enough about the religion if she's kind of has to stay there. And I think Edmund isn't. I don't think he's really made for fighting in any sort of way.
Maybe not.
But if we need funding, I'm sure he'd be a good avenue to tap for that.
That's true.
One of the candlesticks alone, I'm sure, would pay for some of the travel.
If we could find a way to pique Valos' interest, we might be able to get him to come. That's entirely.
What? Just talking to him and saying, "Hey, the end of the world is happening. Do you want to build robots?" Isn't enough.
The end of the world isn't going to be motivation for a creature like Valos.
Guys, I think we're all missing the most important one. Goose. Goose, anyone? Why is
Oh
Goose?
no, thank you, Joe. I'm not hungry.
We just, you know what? First of all, we send Goose in alone, and then assuming the world still is ending, then we all go in afterwards. I think that's the solution. But maybe Goose can just handle this all by themselves.
Listen, Goose is good, but I don't think he's that good. But I'm definitely
No,
willing to
we
give
need-
him a
we need-
call.
We need the new spin-off of Goose and Kogan. The Blob and the Octopus. They need their own spin-off series.
Wait, what sort of energy is it? Is it like a buddy cop series?
Maybe, but they're both like in a comedic sense, they're both not the straights.
Okay, wait, it's Mulder and Scully, but they're both whichever. But they're both the one who's into it and not the skeptic.
It's just Jello and Jello with arms. Like it's not.
That's the tagline on the bottom of the series.
Mhm.
The funniest thing about it is that the two main characters would never have any lines.
Yes.
The only lines would be from side characters.
And the subtitles would be Blobs Blobbedly or Waves and Tentacles.
10 out of 10.
Alright.
I would watch it.
Well, we know what we're putting together after we've saved the world. But in the meantime, yes, let's call Goose because there might be some help there.
Yeah, I'm sure with, get a couple feathers. I've got Goose. I think the potential of some of the mechanics in there might get Valos to come with, though.
It's a
We'll
toss-up.
see.
Oh,
Might be able to drag Centurion into it too.
What about Lena, the plague doctor woman in the village? She was pretty, at least powerful with potions and apothecaries and things like that. I wonder if
Yeah.
we could recruit her as well if we've got enough time.
She also has a she's also was studying the Fae while she was there.
True.
I mean, if we're just inviting everyone at this point, are there guild members who need work?
I guess we could have a bit of an army, maybe, if there's anyone that wasn't trapped in the rebel and that's still willing and able to fight.
I think Talos will pipe up here. sadly, I think most members, at least that I would feel confident sending, were out on missions. Those that weren't out on missions were pretty heavily wounded in the explosions. Uh, I would like to leave at least a handful of the guild masters behind to look out for things, but myself, Yaga, and potentially a few others will be able to join, however.
Ooh, there's Arnold Rothstein, the guy who owned the mansion, sorry. He I think killed himself and then brought himself back. I wonder if we could recruit him.
I don't.
He did what?
Yeah, he did like a reverse dice thing, if I remember correctly. It's been a little while. And I
I
was
don't
drinking
know
alcohol.
that we've ever
The
met the
smuggler?
man.
No. We're talking about the one at the party, the one where we met Fila for the first time. The big fancy party when everyone was there. There was Reginald and Pennygold and Edmund and everyone. And he was like the guy who ran the party. I don't think he was friendly. I think we heisted under him, so I don't know if he would like us very much because we heisted
Probably
his house.
not.
But maybe he would see the greater good and use his powerful magic items in his house to help us.
Joe, I think you're mixing up people.
Hmm?
That's you used to own a shop. How did you mix up people? How are you mixing up people if you had a shop and interacted with clients? Did people get like the wrong order?
Very rarely. I was all done by the book. Wait, so is Arnold Rothstein not the person? Wait, it's the Vesperwind resident, right? Is that the name of the? So is there a Vesperwind? Is that who I'm thinking of? Lady Vesperwind.
Yeah, she was the
Yes.
collector. Yeah.
Okay, but who died? Because didn't someone die and then come back? We could get them.
I don't think we want to work with them.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that
Also,
they were
wasn't
just a peddler, basically.
wasn't that the guy looking at just what I observed of you guys? Wasn't that the dude that stole the dice and was using the dice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy.
Yeah, he seemed like a drunkard.
And
I
I
wouldn't.
don't think we want to put him around part of powerful artifacts anyways. If he's
end
just
up
going to
stealing
steal
them
them.
all. Well, maybe that would disrupt the plan, and maybe that's square of a failure enough. Who knows? Anyway, all right. It sounds like we've got a pretty good list of people. Let's leave the Vesperwinds out of it.
Would be ideal, yes.
All right. Well, at least that way it looks like we've got some form of a team set up. So, all right, Mako, how we want to do this? I wasn't able to actually get inside much because didn't want to blow any cover and scare him off.
I suspect a man like that is probably, spent a long time preparing. So I would hazard a guess that the odds of us being able to catch him by surprise is slim to none. I think our best bet is if we can find is potentially just maybe if we can might be able to get some advantage if we can get a distraction to just for us to be able to just bust down the front door. But this is going to be tough. This is a guy who's, clearly very old and clearly very patient.
I don't know if patient is the right word. He's more paranoid.
Yeah, that's probably
And overprepared.
more fair.
But he's just one guy. He may be prepared, but we've got a whole team. We're all very powerful in our own right. I think.
Side note: do we know if he's responsible / if Ritsuka and the rest of them are going to be at that same location, or are they otherwise recoverable? Because they would be a very valuable asset if we could free them.
Yeah, I would hazard to guess that's where they are.
All right, so then we gotta spend at least some amount of our forces freeing them. Judging, I mean that might be a twofold blow because one, we would give us more allies, more powerful allies, and also judging from the way that they were, the way they're wrapped up in this, that might weaken whatever whatever fate disruption is going on there. If they're no longer, because every vision we had was them growing those flowers, and I think if we can free them from that, then maybe that might lessen the disruption. I think they were acting as almost like anchors, right?
I think so. I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, but if nothing else, we need to free them. So it'll probably, and this is probably needs to happen something. So we need to have a team that will free the captives. We need to have someone focused on recovering the magic items, someone focused on the actual on the whatever the mechanics of the ritual or whatever is going on with the planes, and then we'll need someone to actually focus on Felial, which means I'm seeing 3 or 4 teams.
He's and I can definitely be on whatever team is interacting with the mechanics of it, the literal mechanics, disrupting machines, breaking things. I think we could be good at that. Mako, is there anything that you feel like you'd be particularly suited for? Do we just want to point you directly at Felial and see how much you can just ruin his day?
I think I'd be able to. I think I'd be good there. I also might have a better shot at locating the captives. If I'm able to get into range and able to connect to Ritsuka directly, then I might be able to track him down like easily.
True.
Regardless, I can keep us connected. When we took down that last bomb, I used the relays to drill into that the Burning Hands guy's head. The relay network put in a little extra for me. I think I can connect us over a longer distance fully telepathically, so we'd be able to keep in contact.
Okay.
Will the relays work if
I don't.
we're that far away?
I don't need the relays to do it. I am the relay.
But you only have 2 legs.
The mechanics version of what I got is I can create a network of up to 4 people, and I can add people or subtract people as a bonus action. But I can telepathic network as long as you're within 120 feet of me. Everyone in the network can communicate telepathically seamlessly.
Well, that seems very useful.
And for the flowers, how are we supposed to untangle them?
I don't know. Do you,
Because if it only takes magic, I don't think you're going to be able to do it, Mako.
that is fair. Mako will turn to the Fae crowd and ask, "Do you know of any ways to circumvent the flowers?" I don't remember what the specific name of the flowers is.
Oh, the flowers look like this. And Kitasha will take out the book.
Oh, yes, that explains it. How fun to have some flora involved. But no, you are quite right, Kitasha. You will need some strong magic in order to dispel these flowers. Though, dispel is the wrong word. Eventually, they would be susceptible to physical attacks, but it would take much, much longer. It's much easier if you are using magic.
I feel like that settles that. Kitasha, would you be able to lead that group to free the captives, and then I guess that leaves me to lead the charge against Felial himself.
Yeah, I guess so. Do I have to attack them?
To be honest, it likely would be more effective to attack the host flower. Did you happen to find out who the host flower is attached to currently?
Ritsuka.
Yes, his flowers will be the ones to attack. At least that would be the best choice.
Okay. Mako, I will make an effort to only attack the flowers.
I trust you.
Out of character, that's using a lot of effort. Your trust is pulling a lot of weight.
You wouldn't happen to have access to something like Blight or something that I might like one-shot this.
No. I'll have to relook at my spells, but all of them are storm-based, so nothing with like actual growing. I mean, she's got a couple new ones that might be fun, but yeah, nothing like Blight.
Yeah, I've got nothing helpful in that regard. Most of my spells are for supporting or doing more mechanical things.
Now here's a bit of a question, at least from my end of it, what I suspect might be happening. It's very likely that Vritzka's hooked up to whatever machinery there is, which in turn is going to basically mean most of the teams are going to end up at the same spot.
Okay.
So if that's the case, do we want a distraction team? I don't know how many guys he's got besides, our group in the Fae Flowers. Don't know if he's got some weird cultists or something. I don't know. You never know. Kind of guys.
Yeah.
A distraction team. Is that where we send in Goose?
I
I don't think Goose would be a good distraction.
Too
And we
stealthy?
should, stealthy, not really distracting. I don't know. It'd probably have to be someone important in that party, right?
Or to actually draw the attention of
Yeah. Someone important enough to make him pay attention.
Okay.
I feel like my hands personally are kind of tired with the whole machinery stuff.
Yeah.
I
I can. Okay, like, are we hoping to draw away just like any reinforcements, or we're trying to draw away Falil himself?
At this point, I would probably guess it would be reinforcements. I don't think we'll get Falil away from much.
Okay.
I think he's going to be at the center of all this.
Okay.
But I doubt that he is going to be very far from either Vitica or the machinery.
Okay. I can definitely lead a group of distraction makers, but I will want to break off to join the fight against Falil himself.
Don't take all the glory for yourself. I'll lead the distraction team.
All right.
I can make myself, and as they're saying this, their body shifts and morphs and becomes a Mako themselves.
That definitely
I can make
works.
myself very important if I.
I like to think that Blake turns into a Mako that's about 6 inches taller.
Hey, this guy doesn't have your height memorized. It's fine.
All right. Yeah, that'll work.
All right. So let me just get it quickly figured out here. I will snag, let's see, Fila, Brutus. We've got Alex and Membara already. Goose, Valos, and Lena. Was there anyone else?
I think that's the majority of the people I can think of. I could send in my mother. She's pretty scary, but she's busy.
Do your mothers could be like that? If I can get, for Fila and Brutus, Kitasha, can you get me a letter or something to kind of prove that you're the one sending for them?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just get that. Lena, already working with Faye. She's not going to be too hard to convince. I can get Goose and Valos pretty easily. Alrighty. Yeah, I think we'll be good. I'll get all this set up. You get me that letter, and then we can rest up a bit. And once everyone's feeling ready, we'll head out, I guess. And Blake will stand and stretch. Do whatever it is you want to do now, and then we're out of here.
I certainly think sleep is a top priority for me personally.
No, sleep would be great. And out of character, do you want me to write that letter, or do you want?
You don't actually need. You do not need.
Please hand wave it.
We don't need that letter actually written. Worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. This is just kind of a as we're doing a shorter session tonight, and we're kind of wrapping up here. If there was anything else you guys wanted to do, or items that you want to try to get beforehand, now would be the time to do it. Or if there's any last RP that you want to do before going into this major mission, who knows, maybe Mako would like to say something to send a letter or something to a certain bunny rabbit.
Yeah, I think I
be.
will write a letter to Merlin, just mostly along the lines of, I'm really sorry for the way things went and the way things happened at that in our last conversation. I've done a lot of thinking, and if I make it back from saving the world,
if I don't fake my death,
which is still on the table.
I don't fake my death and run away with Quill.
It's like, yeah, I think like assuming all goes to plan and I don't die saving the world, you are my choice.
Blah.
Interesting.
Excellent.
Dude, why don't we get fucking Sir Hops-a-Lot in here?
He
knows flowers.
He's not a fighter. He's a botanist.
And where are we going?
Wait
what
a
are
minute.
we doing?
Wait a minute.
No, we are
Maybe
not
he
getting
has
Merlin involved in this.
flowers. He could cross-pollinate it with his hydrangeas. You'd have
There's
the prettiest
absolutely no
flowers.
safe way that I could bring him back a cutting of these flowers, is there?
You could certainly try.
No safe way I could do
Press
that.
it in a book.
No, I don't want like the
Get a quad
petals.
paned like jar.
I want actual cuttings so he could cultivate it if he wanted to.
Maybe you could get some other flowers from some of the other fae creatures here.
Maybe.
He's gonna start planting mint, and it's gonna invade the entire continent.
Heckin' cilantro.
Other than that, I'll acquire some better armor so I'm not as squishy as I've been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Real quick, I actually this kind of links into one of the things that I'm. Sorry, she was biting me. she is being jailed.
For our listeners here, he's currently holding our 3-month-old puppy who has been feisty throughout the entire session, and she is currently in air jail.
She's also very fat at the moment. She's a big old belly. Anyway, yeah, I did want to check with both of you. So I know, Kitasha, you've still got the ring that gives you one extra level 2 or level 3 spell slot, right?
Level 3, yeah.
Yeah, and then Maker, are you using anything from Joe or taking anything from
I think
Joe?
I still have Boots the Elvenkind from you.
Okay. Did you still want those and are you using those? Because I could change that out for you to an armor thing if you wanted.
That would be probably more useful because I don't think we're gonna be stealthing on this final mission, and so the neutral stealth is not gonna be as important. I don't think.
Well, in that case, maybe Joe and Mako can catch up to one side and basically say I can work on upgrading your existing armor. Potentially, this could be something done out of session. I can look down the list of options and send you a couple screenshots. But now I'm past level 10. Some of them get pretty broken. So yeah, I'll send you the list. And Joe, as well as doing that, Joe will work on an item for himself because right now the only one he's got is the pistol. So I think he'll see if there's anything else he can give himself right before we get into the end. Because I have 4. I can make 4 magic items at the same time.
Nice. Look at this artificer boy.
Oh yeah. I think even although this isn't a mechanical thing, I think Joe would definitely be working with Hercules as well. Both on an upgrade sense and making sure the armor is in absolute peak condition and fully repaired and everything like that. But also, I think he's trying to teach a few more phrases to Hercules.
Few new borfs.
Yeah, I think Joe starts trying to train the word talk. And it works every single time, but not because Joe's done anything, just because that's all Hercules does. So every time he says talk, he gets a borf back, and Joe thinks he's made a huge breakthrough.
Adorable. Alrighty. Anything for Kitasha before we go into our rest?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. Well,
Because she doesn't have any proficiencies in armor, so.
Alrighty then. You guys are able to get everything settled, have a long rest, and as you wake up several hours later, Blake is ready to lead you, and you all are gathered together, and the Dullahan with you begin to race around your group over and over and over, and suddenly it seems as though the ground itself is opening up. Then bright flash of white and blue and black, and then you blink your eyes open that you didn't realize you. As you look out and you can just see sky, so much sky. Then you realize that you are facing outwards from a cliff, and you can look behind you and see that there's more mountain above you, further and further into the sky. And you are at Heaven's Gate, and have a little bit more to ascend before you will reach the entrance to the cave. And that's where we'll end tonight.
Ooh.